Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tanner's Favorite Things. I'm Tanner Knight, and today we have a very special audio interface episode for you. So from the start, I've been a huge fan of the Focusrite audio interfaces. I've been using my third generation Focusrite 2i20 for a while now, and I've gotten to the point where I just need more inputs. The 2i20 interface is a great interface if you're just recording a guitar cabinet, or maybe a guitar cabinet and a room mic, or maybe just vocal audio, and that pretty much does the trick. However, I found it limiting when I went to record the drum kit. Having two mics on a drum kit is obviously better than just having one, but today we have a brand new audio interface from Focusrite to talk about that gives us a few more. So the interface that we're going to be talking about today is the Focusrite 18i20, which has a whopping 18 inputs. There are 8 inputs for just XLR, another 8 for the 1/4 inch input, and then 2 more for MIDI inputs as well. So you have all kinds of inputs. I've just hooked it up. Got 5 mics around the kit, and now we're going to test it out. Alright, for our microphones, let's start with the bass kick. I've got 2 microphones on the bass kick. The Sennheiser E906 is inside the bass, capturing pretty much the front baffle. And then I have an EVPL88H, which is a dynamic microphone, which is right outside of the kick drum. Next, I have an SM57 on the right hand, or as your perspective, the left hand side, where I have the ride, the crash, the 2 toms, and 1 more crash here. That's pretty much catching this whole area. Then on the other side, I have another condenser mic, this time the Blue Encore 300 vocal mic. I've heard that this does really well with snare as well. So I have it over here on my left side, your right side, capturing the snare, the hi-hat, and the higher tom, as well as this crash and this little splash cymbal as well. And finally, I have a room mic, my AT4033 SE condenser mic. This is really my favorite microphone. That's why I use it to capture the room. So it is the 5th mic, just capturing the ambient sound, and that is the current audio setup. Obviously, I have phantom power going right to the condenser room mic, which is next to the camera, as well as this condenser mic on the snare, but all these other 3 are dynamic microphones. All right, let's go ahead and hear how this thing sounds. So I finally feel like I have enough microphones to capture an entire drum kit. This is really just the beginning. I could add another mic here, maybe 1 down below the snare so I can get up and below the snare, and that's just the XLR inputs. If I wanted to add the 1/4 inch inputs, I could have even more microphones to record this kit. So I know it's a short demo for today, but I don't really have much else to show you here. I just wanted to show you that I have a brand new audio interface with 18 inputs, and it does have the same quality as a Focusrite product that I expect. Alright, let's go over the nitty-gritty specs and then wrap it up. Alright, so we've got this beautiful red Focusrite device here, and this is the Focusrite 18i20 Scarlett audio interface. And as you can see, we have 2 inputs on the front. Those are the XLR inputs, and then we have the 8 knobs that control the gain or volume for each channel. The other controls we have are 2 phantom power options, one for channels 1 through 4, and then the bottom one here is for channels 5 through 6 if you have a condenser mic on 5 through 6. Right now I just have my condenser mics on 1 and 4. So we're good. The other controls we have are these instrument versus pad buttons, and I'm more familiar with the instrument and air controls on the 2i2, so I assume those are kind of similar. I do have that instrument button pressed, as I do believe pad is more of a digital type of interface. And moving down the front, you can see we have a volume indicator for channels 1 through 8, and you can see that it has basically 5 bands that show you if you are peaking or not. If you hit the 5th, it is red, and that tells you to back down your volume. Moving down, we have a monitor volume if you have monitors hooked up. I currently don't just yet, but we will eventually. And you can diminish the volume or mute it altogether on that monitor. And then we have 2 outputs for headphones, each with their individual volume controls. And finally, the power button. Let's go ahead and spin this around and take a look at the back. All right, let's zoom into the back here. We'll start with our power input here, standard power cord. Then we have SPDIF in and outs. Not exactly sure what that means. I'm not familiar with that standard, but moving down, we do have the MIDI input and out. So that's great if you have a MIDI keyboard or a MIDI instrument that you want to plug in. You can plug it directly into the back. Moving on, we have the USB output. This is the connector that connects it to your computer. We have a word clock out. Again, not entirely sure what that is, but might have to do a little research there. Then we have some optical inputs. Those are pretty rare. You don't see too many devices with the optical input or output anymore, but hey, they're there. Then we have 10 1/4-inch inputs, 2 of which are our monitor out, so you only really get 8 of those 1/4-inch in, like I said. But you have the monitor outputs that are easily plug in and play. And lastly, we have our 6 XLR inputs to go with the 2 on front to make 8 total. So we're looking at 8 XLRs, 8 1/4-inch, an optical in and out, and a MIDI in and out. Plus this SPDIF, which I'm not sure what that is, but we got all of those inputs, and at some point I want to use every single one and just see if we can crowd the board. But right now I've got 5 plugged in and it does great. So let me know if you have any questions about this particular interface or my 2i2, which is still a really great product and actually a newer generation than this one. But that's all I've got for you, so let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like this content. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.